Hey, beautiful soul. Thanks so much for joining us for another episode. I can't even believe it's been it'll be 3 years this fall of this podcast. That just blows my mind. And of course, it wasn't always a human design podcast. But yeah, it just continues to blow my mind. And for anyone who did not see on Instagram, this podcast has officially moved from the top 10% of all podcasts globally to the top 5% of all podcasts globally. That is so incredible. And the fact that I am able to see that, it's such a reminder that you are here listening right now, that you give a shit, that you care not only for yourself, but that you feel some sort of attachment to the way I teach it, or resonance would probably be the better word. And I just want you to just take a moment to be proud of yourself for continuing to learn about this system, continuing to learn about yourself. And I want to thank you deeply for choosing to do it with me. I never go a day without thinking about how many humans there are that follow me on Instagram. There's over 2,000 of you. That's insane. And my email list and you listening to this podcast, I am so present with that. And I'm so thankful for you. So shout out to you for being here. Thank you so much. I see you. And I always want to hear from you. So if you're ever looking for me to have some more information or a specific topic on this show, please just send me a DM or send me an email. Tell me what you want to hear, because remember, I'm a manifesting generator. I love to respond. That's how I work best. So I want to hear what you want to hear from me. Okay, moving into this week, this is the final Human Design 101 type episode, all about reflectors. I have been so gifted with the ability to work with two reflectors, and actually, no, two more. Actually, I've worked with three reflectors. One was just in a workshop capacity, but considering they're only 1% of the population, I'm so excited to be able to actually work with reflectors in that capacity. And they are teaching me more and more about how they live as a reflector every single day. So when I'm able to now teach you about reflectors, it's yes, coming from an educational standpoint, but it's also from real life experiences through the clients that I've helped. Speaking of course, if you're watching on YouTube, excuse me for a moment. I was just sent this incredible book by one of my clients who is a reflector. She took my online business course, The Unicorn Experiment, which is all about human design for business. And then she joined my group program, the first round of Revive Your Sacral, last fall. And she sent me this book in the mail. You might have seen me crying about it on Instagram. And it says, page 119 has something special for you. And there was a thank you on the front. And then when I open it up to page 119, there is this long, beautiful handwritten note. And then it tells me to go to another page. And it's a page within her portion of this book that she wrote about my mastermind group. Tears, just tears. She wrote about the effect it had on her life, about the space that we held for her in such a time of need. And it really reflected back to me. She herself, as a reflector, is reflecting back to me the importance of the work that I'm doing. Because if you are a coach or a healer, or whoever, whatever kind of service work that you may give as you sit here listening, you know how sometimes it can feel like, am I doing enough? Is this enough? What am I doing? Right. And having that message reflected back to me, it was incredible. And I want you to understand that's a ripple effect. That's a ripple effect of my coaches telling me, do this human design thing, do this group program, even though you're afraid, do it, and pushing me to do these things that I wanted to do, but I was afraid to do. And now look at the lives that are changing because of that. And now she's going on to change other women's lives because she's also a service provider and writing in anthologies now. So she's now an author, right? This is not just about you or not just about me. This is the ripple effect. And it just blows my mind to think about that and to see that it brought, I'm going to cry again. It brought such warmth to my heart. And it's a great book. It's Women Thrive Volume 3. Like I said, it's an anthology. So it's all about inspiring true stories of women overcoming adversity. And you can get it, I think, on Amazon now, but I'll ask her and we'll drop it in the show notes below. But I guess all that just to say this is a message of keep doing what your heart is guiding you to do, what your soul purpose feels like it is, and keep following those little breadcrumbs of curiosity if you don't know, because you are making an impact. By you choosing to do this work yourself and change things that you don't like about your life right now, you are making an impact. We're all here as a collective on purpose. So just a quick note to not forget that. Okay. Last piece is my next round of Revive Your Sacral. My third cohort, that's like crazy to me, is kicking off in September, and I already have some seats filled. So it's not fully open, but there are still some seats left. If you would like to join the program, just click the link in the show notes. We can get on a call and talk about it, or if the timing's off, just shoot me a message in Instagram or an email, and we can chat about it and see if it's a good fit for you. All right. Grab a pen and paper and your chart, especially if you're a reflector, so you can get some good juicy notes out of this, and I will see you next week. Welcome to the No BS Human Design Podcast. I'm Adriana Keefe, human design coach and motivational speaker. I went through my quarter-life crisis in my 20s and had to learn how to navigate through finding what I was meant to be doing with my life. I refused to believe in the culture that said we were all meant to have the same path and boring careers until we retire and die. And along my journey, I found Human Design, a system that reveals your energetic blueprint, showing you where and how to access your body's consciousness and how to live as your true self. Human Design changed my life, so I started sharing it with others and changing their lives, but we were all finding the same problem: a lack of resources that explain the system in easy and useful ways. So I created this show where we dive deep into the lessons of the Human Design system without the BS and the noise you find on the internet. Listen in for lessons in human design, finding your purpose, manifestation and spiritual practices, human design within business, and so much more. We connect with other experts in the human design and spiritual realm in a refreshingly honest way to help you find your way along your spiritual path and live this life with intention. It's time to let go of the societal expectations of being and let yourself find abundance through being uniquely you. Let's get started. Hello, my beautiful reflectors. You are only 1% of the population. So I have been so lucky to know at least 4 of them that I'm aware of in my lifetime and have personally worked with 2. And I feel like that has just been an enormous gift for me to be able to give back to you, because while a lot of human design, I have to learn from an educational standpoint because I'm a manifesting generator. So it's very different from any of the other types. And I have to speak to them based on education in a lot of circumstances. I am so thankful that I also have had the pleasure of working with 2 reflectors and really seeing all of how their energy works, not all of it, but a lot of how their energy works. So I can also give to you firsthand experience and knowledge from them, and not just from an educational read about it standpoint. So what makes you a reflector? If you're looking at your body graph with the 9 centers on it, none of yours will be colored in. You have no defined centers. That is not bad. That is not good. That just is. You'll find a lot of crappy information online about more open centers, the more vulnerability, more susceptible to conditioning. And honestly, I can't stand all of that talk. We are susceptible to conditioning no matter what. I have 6 out of my 9 centers defined, and I had been an extremely conditioned human being. So please, if you are going down the Google rabbit hole, only start to follow people who talk in very emotionally aware ways about things like the centers with that. Just a little caveat because I get really heated. Okay, moving into your energy. You are here to see and amplify energy, bringing awareness of energy to other people. You don't have energetic consistency from moment to moment, but instead from themes in your design and from the lunar cycle, the moon cycle, which you will learn more about yourself the more that you do this work. You will find your sense of consistency and you'll find your themes. It's important for you to be around the right people and the right environment for consistency and safety, especially as you're doing this work. I know it's easier said than done, especially if you have a close relationship or maybe you live with someone who does not feel safe or strong and supportive. I totally get that that can be really difficult. So find other people in your life who can be a safety net and a support system for you while you're doing this work. Maybe it's someone here in the community, drop into the chat, find an accountability buddy or someone along those lines, or maybe not. But either way, it's really important for you to be around the right people. Your energy really reflects the energy of the world around you with an ability to see the true potential of others. You tend to be sensitive and predict outcomes. And when I say sensitive, I don't mean that you cry a lot, although you could. I cry a lot, but sensitive to energy. So my husband is not a reflector, but he has 7 out of 9 open centers. He only has 2 defined centers. So my human design mentor coined this term demi-reflector because he has so much more inconsistency than a lot of generator types. And what I noticed with him, this is a very reflector trait, is that he can predict the outcome of things or know something's going to happen before it does. So that's what I'm talking about when I mean sensitive to energy and tending to predict something. It's just like this openness is a gift and magic for you to be able to pull in the energy that is to come. And I want to encourage you, if you start to have those feelings of like, oh, this is totally going to happen when I meet with my boss next week, or oh, I can tell my friend is going through this and she's going to reach out, just start to notice those things. That's a part of your magic. It really is. Your energy is here to observe energy of other people and not necessarily absorb it. So going back to all the crappy talk online about reflectors and or just open centers being so vulnerable to burnout and crashing, blah, blah, blah. Your aura protects you from that. So you're observing the energy, but you aren't being the energy. It doesn't absorb it and soak it in. We'll talk a little bit more about that in aura. Before, I was going to go down that rabbit hole. No, we'll wait. Okay, so we'll talk about that in aura. Um, for you, time and space provides the best environment for decision making because you are on a 28-day lunar cycle in the way that your energy moves about. So I've naturally been, not me naturally, I've found that my clients have naturally said they take longer in their decision making, and they already did before they knew this information. So that was their body already saying that they need time. They need time for all of the energy and the decisions to filter through before they come to their conclusion. So this is your authority and your strategy. This is a part of how you navigate through the world. You need cycles of rest. I mean, don't we all? But really honor your cycles of rest. Take time daily if you can to empty out your aura as best you can, because you have been observing all the other energies throughout the day, throughout the weeks, whoever you've been around, whatever environments you've been around, even virtually, this counts too. And make sure that you are allowing yourself to cleanse and replenish and rest. And with the cycles of rest, it doesn't just mean like every day allow yourself downtime and rest. You could find that in periods of the month, and whether or not you are a menstruating human doesn't matter. You'll find that certain cycles happen each month where you need more rest, and you're finding you're not as creative. You don't want to be as social. So just start to notice that. Start to journal if you can, the times of the month and how you're feeling and what you did that day, what felt good, what felt like you pushed it a little too far. And you'll start to find your cycles of when you're at peak creativity, peak excitement, peak socialization. And then when you need to just like maybe take 3 to 5 days, maybe even a week of just like chilling and resting, especially if you have young kids, it's exhausting, right? Practice and learn your cycles. Just for funsies, some famous reflectors: Sandra Bullock, Michael Jackson, whatever you think about him, just take his gifts, right? And Rosalind Carter. I really like that Sandra Bullock is a reflector. I thought that was so much fun. So just like to add that there for fun if you resonate with any of them. All right, going back to your aura. I mentioned how it is sampling and resistant. It doesn't absorb everything. So it's here to provoke others to look at you for their reflection, because you're going to show them the general health, stability, well-being of their energy, of the environment you're in, right? So it's naturally going to start asking other people to look to you, maybe for advice, maybe to talk about a situation they're going through. So just start to notice that. And you're sampling the energy of others, but your aura is designed to let it flow through and out. There's this one woman in human design who talks about the aura of a reflector being like Teflon. Like it takes it in, but it lets it bounce right back out. So although, yes, you're observing a lot of energy, you are not constantly holding everyone else's energy until you disappear. That's not how that works. It is protective of you in that way. I do believe that grounding is very important for you, but it's important for everyone, I think. But definitely you, as you're learning your cycles, especially, and learning to be in the energy of you and not always giving the energy back and reflecting to other people, if that makes sense. Grounding every day when possible, whether it's putting your feet in the earth, feeling the warm sun on your skin, holding an ice cube in your hand, or it could be a full visualization, like a chakra cleanse or anything like that. Root center energy, really focus on cleansing, not cleansing, well, cleansing too, but grounding is going to be so beneficial for you. Now, your strategy, which we touched on earlier. Your strategy is the way that you're designed to interact with the world around you. Think flow, not force. It is possible, I promise. The old masculine ways of go bulldoze everyone until you get your way is not actually, sure, it can work, but you're going to burn yourself out, right? So the way that you're designed to interact for more flow and ease and receiving, we're practicing receiving here instead of forcing. That's the 28-day lunar cycle. Wait 28 days to make a decision. Allow yourself to find the right time, the right people, the right places to guide you in your decision. And we'll talk more about that when we get into authority. But really slow down. Allow yourself to feel the energies of other people. Allow yourself to feel what your gifts, your energetic gifts are doing when you're around other people. And then again, when you're alone too. Notice your energy according to the moon cycle. Start to keep track of that. It's going to really help you in scheduling things and knowing what commitments you want to take on if you can't wait 28 days before making a decision. You will start to notice what your overall themes are. Now, moving into not self-theme, and signature. And these are what keep you on the road to your aligned self. Your not self-theme is like a red flag that tells you when something's out of alignment. And your signature is like the feeling that you get when something was done in beautiful alignment. You're living by design. Everything is just hunky-dory, right? And your signature is called surprise. Feeling inner surprise in yourself, surprise in other people, surprise in your environment. It could be felt when seeing potential being fulfilled in other people or in yourself, this beautiful feeling of surprise. And it does tend to come after a period of waiting. So in those periods of waiting where things feel calm, quiet, maybe a little too calm and quiet for you, if you're very ambitious and a go-getter, just think about the surprise that's coming and allow yourself to be in receiving mode of that. Be excited about, oh, something is going to come to me and surprise me, and it's going to feel so epic. And I know surprise, the feeling of surprise, can feel really distant to you at first. So I want to encourage you to just stay open-minded. And when you start to feel feelings that are kind of like, oh, this feels good. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Oh, this felt like I did the right thing. What does that feel like in your body? What does surprise feel like to you in your body? And then the not self theme. This is like your red flag. We are not here to shame it or judge it. It's just here to let you know, hey, something's out of alignment here. Did I make the wrong decision? Am I forcing commitments? What is it? And that for you is disappointment. And it could be not trusting yourself or your life. You could feel disappointed. It could be witnessing unmet potential in other people and you're disappointed, unmet potential in yourself and you're feeling disappointed. And of course, operating from the mind and or fear can lead to feelings of disappointment, among many other. So just start to notice, what does disappointment feel like in your body? Again, not here to shame or judge, just here to notice. This is an experiment with your energy and just let it guide you. That's all. Just let it guide you. Now, moving into conditioning and shadow. Totally my favorite part because I'm so here for the healing and expanding work. Everyone is conditioned. From the moment they were born, you're being conditioned. From the moment you wake up to the moment your head hits the pillow, someone somewhere is trying to condition you to be, think, act, whatever way that you're not actually designed to, especially in the online coaching and all of that world. If you're a business owner, you've seen a lot of it, right? So this is, if any of these trigger you or feel like, oh, that one stings a little, that one feels like me, you are in good company. We are all conditioned. We have all been operating out of the shadow side of our gifts. There's a shadow and light to everything. We've all done it, right? It's just about noticing and being curious. So for reflectors, it's very common. I see this in my husband as well, with having the 7 open centers, shape-shifting into whoever the other person needs you to be. And a lot of times I hear that that can feel like nobody truly sees you. Nobody really gets who you are because you're just usually reflecting back the people around you. Trying to keep up with everyone else, especially in the world being 70% generator types. So trying to keep up energetically and any other way. Rushing through life and decisions. Remember, you're designed to actually take your time. Holding on to stability formed around someone or something besides yourself, instead of learning your own sense of stability and consistency, which again is through journaling, taking note of the day, taking note of the lunar cycle, how your energy felt, right? And then I love to add on a little bonus where I talk about sleep, because sleep is a priority for every human. It really needs to be, just for health purposes alone. But as you're moving through this cycle where you're rewiring your brain, literally, you're in neuroplasticity, we're practicing literally reshaping the way that your subconscious thinks. It's going to be extra important for you to get a good night's sleep. So please make sleep a priority. And as a reflector, remember that your aura is always working around you. It's always observing around you. So when possible, sleep alone in only your aura. I know it can be really tricky, especially if you have a spouse or a partner, kid sleeping in bed with you. So I want to encourage you to just practice with this. Even myself as a manifesting generator, I see a difference when my husband is traveling for work, when I've slept alone for multiple days at a time. I wake up more refreshed. I have more creativity that week. Things just feel a little bit more clear because our auras are constantly cluttered with everything else that's going on and everyone else around you. So what would it feel like to experiment with sleeping alone and giving your aura a break, at least 7 to 9 hours? And remember, this has nothing to do with your partner. You can let them know this is just an experiment. I just want to see how I feel after like a few days or a week or even a night alone. They actually recommend this for everyone within human design, but I was super against it at first because I'm like, that's just not realistic, which it can be really difficult to do. But I'm curious if you were to just try it and see what ends up happening, see how you feel. Remember, journal, take notes, even if it's just a night, once a week. What changes? Allow your aura to rest and reflect. Pun intended. Okay. This is a wonderful opportunity for you to go back through and recognize what words are hard. What resonates with you about your energy? What are you resisting about your energy? What beliefs do you currently have that are not suppressing the wait. See, why am I struggling with words that are suppressing your magic? Maybe beliefs like, I don't know who I am. I need to move faster. I need to do things, need to go faster. So I'll drop some journal prompts in the notes below. Really take your time reflecting on these, lean into them, re-listen as much as you need, and allow yourself to come at it from a place of not judgment or shame, but just noticing, just being curious. Really take curiosity as your word throughout all this work. All right. I love you. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you in the next video.